It has been quite some time since I have sat here in front of a camera and filmed. Probably about 2 months at this point. So hi, hello. I'm kind of back. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little bit awkward, a little bit out of it. So I wanted to kind of ease back in, and I'm just gonna start with a vlog. But the intro of this vlog is I'm going to tell you guys kind of where I've been, what's been going on, and then we'll kind of like get into the vlog itself. So if you don't care about life updates or anything like that, just skip ahead. We'll get to the reading very shortly. So yeah, it's been like 2 months. I was initially kind of taking a few weeks off to just kind of relax. I was kind of just really tired, honestly, from pregnancy. I am still very much pregnant. Here's my belly now. If you can see it, I mean, it's hard to miss. There it is. I am about to be 25 weeks. And for those that don't know, pregnancy full term is around 40 weeks. Obviously, a lot of women can be pregnant for a little bit less or a little bit more, but around 40 weeks is kind of the goal, I guess. So I am 25 weeks in a few days, so over halfway there. But I was kind of just like taking a step back and relaxing because I was just getting really tired and like pregnancy symptoms and stuff, and I was just kind of trying to take it easy. And then some other stuff happened. I ended up kind of getting into a bit of a reading slump. I think in December, I don't know if I read anything in December. I think I might have read one book in December. I had just hit quite a reading slump. I did not feel like reading. I did not feel like doing really anything except just being a person, a pregnant person, and relaxing. And pretty much every time I came home from work, I would just lay in bed and go to sleep. So I was just tired perpetually. And then just the state of the world and the state of America right now is very stressful for me, and the nonstop breaking news, the nonstop updates was a lot, and I kind of took a step back from all social media in general, kind of like as a mental health thing. I want to be informed, but not spiraling type of informed. I can't keep up with everything all the time anymore because there's just too much, and it's just a lot. There's only so much you can do. And at the end of the day, I need to like protect myself. So then I just kind of like took a step back from everything. I wasn't even watching things. I wasn't on social media. I just took a complete step back from my phone and technology in general. And then I was feeling really good. And then I was getting my energy back. And then I started picking up books again, and I started reading again. And I was super positive and very happy. And I was going to start filming again a couple weeks ago. And then I wasn't expecting to get upset about this again because it's actually been a few days since I've cried last over this, but I was going to get back into YouTube and start filming again, and then my cat, Bella, very suddenly and very unexpectedly left us and passed away. If anybody has seen her in vlogs, it was the gray one. She was my soul kitty. I had her since I was 14, and she went all around the world with me, literally. She went to undergrad with me. She went with me to my master's program. It was just me and her for a very long time. So that sucked very bad, and still sucks, obviously. So yeah, that kind of put me back at bottom and back into a little bit of a very low point for the last couple weeks. And honestly, I feel I don't know how I feel, honestly. I've gone through a lot of stages of dealing with that already. I didn't expect to get re-upset, honestly, about it again talking to you guys. But I have mostly made amends with what, happened. I can't change anything, and I'm trying to just focus on the positives. I do still have my other 2 cats, which honestly has probably been super helpful in that, and the baby kitty Winnie, I feel like, has become a little bit more attached to me, and she feels, not that she feels more comfortable now, I don't want to say that, but I think she sees that there's an empty space now and the dynamic is very different in the household, and she's kind of I guess, I don't want to say filling it because Bella was so incredibly special and unique, and me and Bella had such a bond that I don't know that I will ever share that again with another animal to the fullest extent. But I think Winnie has been trying to comfort me, and she's starting to come like on the bed and stuff like that, whereas before that was kind of Bella's territory. It was always just Bella was in the bed with us, and now it's Winnie in the bed with us. So she's, I don't know, making more of an effort, I guess, to get closer to us. I guess maybe now she realizes she can be closer to us than she felt like she could be before. So that's a positive for her and for me. But yeah, Bella is going to forever be extremely dearly missed. She's also the one, I don't know if you guys have seen my legs, but I have a tattoo of her. I got it like 4 or 5 years ago now. Probably like 5 years ago I got the tattoo of her. So she was incredibly special to me. But yeah, unfortunately that's just the way it is. Our pets can't be with us forever. So yeah, I just, the biggest thing is I wish I knew it was coming. I know for a lot of people, sometimes they have to make the choice of whether or not an animal stays with us any longer, and I didn't have to make that choice, and I don't know how to feel about that. I'm still working through other emotions with that situation, and you know, the grief comes up in very unexpected ways sometimes, and just like just now, I honestly haven't cried for a couple days, which was really good. This is the first time that I started to get a little bit more upset again about it, but that's just the journey, you know, there's good days and bad days. But that being said, nonetheless, I need escapism, and I'm ready to get back into reading. And I just really want to dive into narratives. I just need to dive into fiction. There's so much still going on, and I need my escapism back. I need my hobby back, and I'm ready. I'm ready to jump back into it. So that is what this reading vlog is going to be me getting back into reading. I think I'm just going to kind of mood read my way through this vlog. But that being said, my goal for 2025 is to pretty much exclusively read books on my physical TBR. The minimum requirement of all the books that I will be reading in this vlog will be that they are part of my physical TBR. That said, that doesn't mean I'm going to necessarily physically read it, because I do currently have an audiobook that is of a book that I physically own. So I may listen to some of the books that I physically own. But the point is to exclusively be consuming literature from my shelves, so I can kind of like organize the shelves, start to really dwindle down that physical TBR. My last video that I posted, or maybe it was my second last, I'm still debating on doing a top books of 2024. Obviously it'd be pretty late at this point, but I kind of feel like I need to, and like I do have a stack of that, so I might still try to film that and sneak that in, because it just feels wrong to not have a top or a favorite books of 2024. Those are some of my favorite videos to watch and to make, because you kind of just get to see all the highs of the reading year. So I might still do that. So it's either the last video or the video before that. I filmed my entire physical TBR going into 2025. So if you're curious about how many books and what books I do have on my physical TBR, check that video out, because it's almost 200 books. So I gotta start chiseling away at that number immediately. But to start, I'm just gonna start mood reading and picking up books that I just kind of feel like picking up. So I am currently in the middle of 3 books. So I'll talk about those super briefly here. Like, I'm not gonna give any thoughts. I'm just gonna tell you guys what books I'm in the middle of right now. And then I will come back with some like actual reading updates and actual reading thoughts in a little bit. But I just wanted to kind of like intro everything, do my life updates, and at least let you guys know what books I am currently reading, but I don't know what books I will read after I'm finished with these. And I also don't know how long I'm going to have this vlog go on for. So I'm very much just winging it and we'll see what comes of this vlog. But I am currently physically reading Parasite by Mira Grant, or Myra Grant. I'm not super clear which way they prefer the pronunciation, but Mira Grant. This was actually a gift from a lovely subscriber and previous Patreon member, and that is from Eve. She got me this as a little birthday gift. Thank you so much, Eve. So I am reading this. I'm currently on page 54. Going into this book, I really wasn't totally sure what it was about, other than that it is a science fiction book, and I kind of just made a lot of assumptions based on the title of the book. And I have read from Mira Grant before. I read Into the Drowning Deep, which I really liked, and I really liked how scientific that book was. It's like a scientific horror where the horror is really kind of mostly at the end, but they do have quite chunky books and they get very into it, and for whatever reason I really wanted to pick up a chunky book, so I picked this up. I'll come back with a synopsis and reading update in a little bit because my battery is actually dying. So let me just get through the rest of these books that I'm currently reading. So I am also listening to the audiobook for The Queen by Nick Cutter. I'm pretty far into it right now, on page 225. With like a third of the way to go still. On audiobook, I think I have like 3 or 3.5 hours left to listen to it. So I will probably honestly just give you guys my final thoughts once I finish this one. And then I am technically in the middle of this book, which I honestly don't know if I'm going to finish in this vlog because I have not picked this book up for a while now. I've been in the middle of this book for a little bit now, okay? And that is The Wolf Den by Elodie Harper. I am currently on page 154, about probably a third of the way into it. Yeah, probably a third of the way into it. I don't know if I will be picking this back up at all, honestly, during this vlog, or I probably definitely won't finish it, but I might read a little bit more. We'll see what happens with this one, but honestly, with the mood reading that I am leaning into right now, I'm just like not currently in the mood for this anymore. Not that it's bad, I've tapped quite a bit, but maybe I'll talk about it a little bit later and my thoughts on it thus far, but I don't know that I will read this any further in this vlog, but I am technically in the middle of this one. But those are the books that I'm currently actually in the middle of. Like I said, I don't know what else I'm going to pick up in this vlog. We'll see. There'll definitely be other books because I'm almost done with my audiobook. So I definitely at least will have another audiobook. Parasite is pretty chunky, but it does read pretty fast. So we'll see if I get through that and read another one physically. So that's it right now. My dad's actually on his way over, and him and my husband are going to go get some lunch. So that's what I'm going to do now, and then get back home, do a little bit more reading, and I will talk to you guys later. It is the next day and I have made so much progress in this book. I don't know why, but I feel like I end up reading chunky books faster, and I think it's just because I want to feel like I've made a dent in it. Like if I sit down with a chunky book, I'm gonna read more pages than if I sit down with a not so chunky book for whatever reason. I just feel like I need to read more to feel more accomplished. So then I end up reading chunky books pretty fast, but the story is reading really fast to begin with. So in the story, we end up following our main character, Sal, and she is in this world that is like set in 2027, so near future, I guess. And in this world, which is very much just kind of like ours, they have created this kind of like bioengineered modified tapeworm that they will implant into people. And this tapeworm pretty much ends up being this like miracle medical advancement where it boosts people's immune system. It pretty much gets rid of autoimmune diseases, and it can even release people's medicine to them in their intestines. And it's like this medical marvel, this great thing for medicine where they implant this tapeworm into people, and it's by this corporation called Symbogen. So our main character, Sal, is a person who actually got a very early implant of this tapeworm because her father is actually part of the military, and she ended up getting into this like really intense car accident and was in coma for a while, and actually survives and wakes up from a coma, and they think it's because of the parasite. So she kind of becomes this test subject that is like heavily monitored and heavily tested all the time through Symbogen, and kind of following her story and her recovery. She has absolutely zero memory of herself before the accident. She was actually formerly known as Sally, but she has zero memories of what her life was like when she was Sally. So now she kind of goes by Sal and is trying to, you know, shape a different life because she's just this different person now. So it's just kind of following her day to day, figuring out life again, and also being this test subject to this lab. But then one day, people start to kind of act very strange, and Sal bears witness to a few of these events where people just kind of seemingly shut down. They just kind of go, I want to say like zombie mode, but like it's not like a zombie. Like they don't like all of a sudden want to eat human flesh or anything like that, but they just become like lifeless, pretty much. Just drained of life. Eyes are empty, and it's starting to become this thing where she's trying to figure out what's going on, and she's kind of caught in the middle of it as well. So it's very interesting so far, and it reads pretty fast. It's kind of a medical thriller, I guess, in a way, and we get chapters mostly following her, but we do get these little chapters in between that are kind of splices of either the research that went behind these tapeworms, or excerpts from interviews from the doctor that's in charge of the Symbogen Corporation, or excerpts from doctors that were previously involved in Symbogen, but they are very short intervening chapters. I do wish that we got a little bit more of like the research stuff behind it, because I really, really love the science aspect to everything. But yeah, so I do wish that there was a little bit more of the science heavy stuff, but I get it. Maybe we'll get more, because this is like a series. I think it might be a trilogy. I know that there's at least a second book because it's right there. But I think there might be a third. Don't quote me on that. I will check back and give you guys a solid answer by the end of this vlog. But yeah, I don't know. I'm enjoying it a lot so far. I am on page, I don't think I told you guys, 209, chapter 10. It is chunky, but it reads fast to me because I am just kind of interested in our character. I do like our character and following her, and I like the pacing of it. The pacing feels good, and I'm curious to see where the rest of it goes. I mean, I kind of have like ideas of stuff, but I'm just kind of here for the ride. So there's my reading update for this. It's going pretty good so far. I would say right now, it's giving maybe like 3.5, 4-star vibes. We'll kind of see where the rest of the story takes us. But yeah, I'm enjoying it overall. But I also wanted to open a package with you guys because I came home to some mail. I bought a few things online to give myself a little serotonin boost that I needed. So here's some of the stuff that I bought. So I wanted to get a new t-shirt and a new hoodie because that's like all I wear is t-shirts and hoodies and like crew necks. So I got a new t-shirt and a new crew neck. And I got it from an Etsy shop. I'll link it down below. Everything's in XL. I already wore stuff oversized previously, and now I definitely wear everything oversized. But I got this like cream t-shirt, and it has orange decal on it. And it says on the back, I support women's rights and wrongs, which I love. I too have merch that is kind of similar to supporting women's rights and women's wrongs. You guys probably see me wearing this stuff once in a while, but that's always linked in the description box down below. And then this crew neck, you guys, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that I think I'm going to be living in this crew neck. It says, radical women, know them, raise them, be them, and I love it. Has a cherry dice decal, and it looks like kind of vintagey, and I just really love the vibe of it. So I think I'm going to probably live in this crew neck for the foreseeable future. So that's it. I just wanted to show you guys my new crew neck and my new t-shirt because that's fun. I did also order some new nails, so I don't know when those will come in, but I'll show you guys those too. I do have my nails done now like this if you wanted to see. So yeah, I've been doing like short little almonds recently, and I'm digging it. I'm digging the shorter nails right now. So okay, that's it. It is the next day, and I have officially finished The Queen by Nick Cutter. So I'm going to read the synopsis because from what I remember of the synopsis, it really doesn't tell you much. So I'm just going to read it because I don't want to give anything away. So let's see what it says. It says, one summer morning in June, Margaret Carpenter wakes up to find a new iPhone on her doorstep. She switches it on and is greeted by a text from her best friend, Charity Atwater. The problem is Charity's been missing for over a month. Most people in town, even the police, think she's dead. Margaret and Charity have been lifelong friends. They share everything, know the most intimate details about each other, except for the destructive secret hidden from both of them. A secret that will trigger a chain of events ending in tragedy, bloodshed, and death. And now Charity wants Margaret to know her story, the real story. It says in a narrative that takes place over one feverish day, Margaret follows a series of increasingly disquieting breadcrumbs as she forges deeper into the mystery of her best friend, a person she never truly knew at all. Okay, so yeah, we are following our main character, Margaret. And yeah, she's kind of getting these messages through an iPhone from her ex-best friend. Or, well, not ex-best friend, from her best friend, but her best friend has like been missing and pretty much believed to be dead. And yeah, she's trying to figure out where she is, and she's doing what the texts tell her to do and stuff, and she has like friends with her kind of along the way. And yeah, but there is a lot more that goes on in terms of like the mystery and stuff. And I did like the idea of the story. There's a lot of bug stuff, I will say. If you like bug stuff, if you like it was almost kind of like a gritty, campy B horror feeling book. But I will say I really didn't connect with it super a lot. So I'm gonna give it 3 stars. It was fine. There was a lot of things that I liked. Not like a lot of things I liked. There was some stuff that I liked, but I think I just overall had an issue with maybe the narrative style, and I don't know. It's hard to pinpoint exactly, and I don't even know if it's truly true or not. Like if this were written differently, if I would like it more or not. But I just feel like we got plopped into the middle of the story. And then, so we didn't really have much background on our characters, but we got a couple of flashbacks, but I just like didn't really feel connected. And then there was another aspect to the story that involved, I guess, some like science, and I almost would have wanted more of that. And with that science subplot, there's like another character that I wish we had more perspective from. And I think it would have been more interesting. I don't know. I just feel like different perspectives maybe would have made this story more interesting for me. But I did like the idea of it. There is a lot of like parallels to Frankenstein and the science of creation and stuff like that, which I enjoyed those nods to. And I did enjoy a lot of the imagery. Nick Cutter, in my opinion, is really good at describing and detailing out imagery. And that imagery and the way he approaches that is kind of what makes it feel like a gritty, campy horror movie, in my opinion. Come here, baby. So I really liked all of that, but it just was something with the way the story progressed, with the timeline of the story, the perspectives. I just feel like it just wasn't done in the most interesting or compelling way for me personally as a reader. And that is like a super personal take, I feel like. So I think I just had mostly issues with that. I did also have some issues with the beginning. The characters we're following are in high school and they read very cringy sometimes. They read very much like an older person trying to write modern day teens as they are today. And it just like felt a little bit weird at times and felt a little bit cringy. Like I know one of the students at one point said like on God, and there was just like the modern lingo thrown in that I get it and like why it was there, but I cringed a little bit. Maybe I would have liked it a tiny bit more if I would have read it, because some of the stuff was a little bit difficult to follow. There are moments where there's like text message exchanges, which weren't like necessarily hard to follow. Honestly, the hardest thing to follow was that. So the girl that's missing, her name is Charity. Okay. And then the girl we're following, her name's Margaret, but they also call each other Plum and Cherry. So Charity is also Plum and Margaret is also Cherry, but Margaret would be getting text messages of Charity calling her Chair, like in short for Cherry. So then I thought it was Charity. So it was like really confusing, because then I was getting confused on who, like Charity and Cherry were too close. So I kept thinking that those two were the people that were like the same and those were their nicknames, but no. So that made it confusing to listen to for a little bit, but I figured it out eventually. Maybe actually, if I would have read it, I would have felt the same. There were also a few chapters in the end that felt a little bit dragged in terms of like, again, I don't know that we have to keep talking about this anymore, because there's like, the book culminates to this big event. And then there's like 3 chapters after the fact. That's like a journal written about it, pretty much just summarizing everything we just went through in the book pretty much. And then somebody writing a letter for a particular reason. And again, it just felt like a little bit unnecessary. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, there were a lot of random moments, particularly again in the beginning, where we would have like a paragraph side tangent, pretty much of a side story of something that was super inconsequential, but was solely used to describe the character's particular feeling or like a particular smell or something. I don't know if that makes any sense, but pretty much like they would be describing a smell and then be like, this reminds me of the time when I heard about this story of this person who did this thing and blah, blah, blah. This like random ass tangent, side note, to just include extra information to back up whatever scent or sense or observation a character is making. So there were a lot of moments where I was just like, okay. It just felt a little bit overwritten, I guess, at certain points. And yeah, I guess just the overwriting and the narrative and the perspectives and the organization of the story itself wasn't my favorite. To summarize all of that up, that was like a super rambly, probably very confusing review, but there's that. I would really love to see this as a movie. I think that this would be really cool as a movie utilizing practical effects. I think it would be a really cool movie idea. and something I would rather see as a movie, I think, than read as a book. So anyways, that's this. And I will be getting rid of this copy. 3 stars. I don't feel compelled to keep it on my shelves. So check off 1 book off of the physical TBR, and also simultaneously unhauling it, which, you know, it sucks that I didn't love this book more, but feels really good to like clear some of my shelf space. This is why I want to read my physical TBRs. So that is done. So then I was going through my shelves to try to figure out another book to get as an audiobook, to get another book started. And I'm gonna be kind of picky with which books I decide to pick for an audiobook. Honestly, I think that most of the books that I'm picking for audiobooks are gonna be ones that I wasn't like super excited about to read in the first place, because the books that I'm really excited about, I want to read them physically. I will kind of always and forever prefer physically reading a book. I know that I will connect to it more. Most of the books that I'm going to pick for the audiobooks are going to be ones that I wasn't super excited about, interested in, obviously, interested in enough to have in my collection, but ones that I feel like I won't be missing out as much if I don't physically read it. I decided to look up Through the Midnight Door by Katrina Monroe. I have read from this author before. I physically read They Drown Our Daughters. I gave it 3 stars. I did unhaul that one. This one, I like the premise of it a little bit more. I did get this in a Nightworms subscription box. I do also feel like most of the books that I decide to do audiobook will also be subscription box books. But I looked it up on my Libby app. They have the audiobook and it is immediately available. Pretty much we are following 3 sisters, and when they were young, they went to this abandoned house and each of them got locked in a separate bedroom, and something happened in these rooms and they don't remember. They've like completely blocked it out. They were not the same after they left this abandoned house. The story actually opens up where, because I did start this, I'm at like 7%, so I'm not going to give any thoughts right now, but I've listened to like less than an hour. But it opens up where one of the sisters is calling another sister and kind of saying how much she's still haunted by this house, that the darkness is following her, and she ends up offing herself. And her sister goes to the abandoned house to find her, and now the 2 still living sisters have kind of reconnected because of this situation. And then I think that they're just gonna kind of flush out whatever happened in this house, and we're gonna end up jumping back and forth between back then when they went into this house and current time. Yeah, it says, with the house once again pulling them closer, Meg and Esther must find the connection between their sister's death and the shadow that has chased them across the years before the darkness claims them too. They navigate the tensions of their brittle relationship, draw unsettling lines between Claire's death, their own haunted memories, and long ago loss no one in their family has ever been able to face. Oh, interesting. So yeah, I think it's gonna have a lot to do with trauma, with emotional, like working through your emotions. You know, your past is never really behind you, that kind of thing. So yes, officially did start this, but have no thoughts on it so far. Pretty much just got introduced to our characters and had the one sister situation play out. So there's that. And as a very brief, quick update, I'm currently on page 300 of Parasite, making my way through. Huge breakthrough, I guess. Huge discovery has been made in the story, and it's very interesting, and I'm very curious to see where the rest of the story goes. And that's literally all I have to say on this. Oh, I will also say we have gotten a little bit more of the science, and like not a lot, not like so much that if you're not interested in science, you would be like, yawn, snooze, don't care, no idea what's happening. But just like a little bit more science, a little bit more parasitology to keep me at least at bay with my requests. So we did get a tiny bit more science, so I'm excited about that. And I hope we kind of delve even deeper into it, even deeper into like the medical aspects and stuff, but we'll see. That's where I'm at with that. And that's it right now. That was a lot of reading updates. Okay, so this is about, woo, almost dropped my books. So this is about to be a very long update. So to start, I finished Parasite by Mira Grant last night. I finished it. I ended up really, really enjoying this. I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I just found myself by the end, I was so invested in these characters and in the story and where it's going to go. I will say I saw some stuff coming. The way that this one ended, like the ultimate, like last page ending, I kind of figured that was coming. But at the same time, it wasn't like this isn't like a thriller that's trying to like throw something at you that you didn't see coming or anything like that. Like, it wasn't meant to be this like insane twist. It was meant to be a very emotionally impactful moment for a character to get to, and I do think it accomplished that. So while I kind of saw a lot of the writing on the walls, I think it was almost intentional, and it didn't deter my enjoyment of the story at all. But I just found myself very much invested in these characters. There's a particular side character we end up getting introduced to named Tansy, and I love her. I thought she was just such a fun addition to this book. Because I will say, and it's addressed in the book, that the main character is not like a super exciting person other than her history makes her interesting, but it even kind of acknowledges that she's a little bit boring. She's very just kind of around. Like, she's not a very loud character. She's just a character that is tied up in so much more than she bargained for, and she's kind of in the middle of a few different things going on, corporation-wise and government-wise, and there's just a lot of secrets around this whole medical advancement thing that she just ends up kind of being in the midst of without really trying to be, but the people around her kind of pull her in and stuff like that. So it kind of addresses that she's not a very super interesting character, but I feel like she was a little bit almost like neurodivergent coded, and I found it to be interesting, and I still found her to be very charming and charismatic nonetheless. I just enjoyed experiencing the story with her, where I feel like, you know, she was just kind of experiencing the turmoil around her. And sometimes that's how it is. Sometimes we are not the main characters that we think we are. We are not these big badass protagonists at the center of creating the action. Instead, stuff's just going on around us, and you feel a little bit like you can't control anything. And I feel like that's kind of where our character comes from. And I found it to be charming in that way. And I found it to be effective because I feel like if I were in a similar situation, it would be like that. Like, you kind of have some answers, but you're very uncertain about some things, and you don't really fully grasp all of the like scientific, I guess, stuff going around. Like, there's people around you that are smarter than you and that know more than you, but you're still involved. And I don't know, I just found it to be an interesting dynamic, and I was rooting for her and for her story and for her and her partner, that I really enjoyed him as a character as well. And all the side characters just added something to it. And at kind of like towards the end of this book, like the latter half, there's some family drama that honestly was very effective, and I felt like just was really well done, really well approached. And I just really liked the writing, and I again just found myself so invested in these characters by the end. So I'm really, really glad I read this. It's gonna be a 4-star. I'm excited to read the second book whenever I do. I don't own it right now, and I really am going to try not to buy it for a while, but I do intend to read the second book eventually. Shout out again to Eve for gifting me this book. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to have this on my shelf as a book that I read, as a book that I recommend, and as a series that I want to continue. So checking this off, great success. I do feel like that it's a different story, but I do feel like maybe if you liked The Girl with All the Gifts, if you liked that book, I think that's by M.R. Carey, I want to say. The picture's up here. If you liked that book, I think you'll like this one. Or if you liked this one, I think you'll like that book. They are different stories, but I feel like they have the same kind of essence to it. They have a similar thing going on a little bit, but it's still different. But I don't know. I just feel like if you like one or the other, you'll like the other. Okay, so there's that. Now moving on to the less exciting update, Through the Midnight Door by Katrina Monroe. So I am officially on page 172, chapter 17. I'm listening to the audiobook. Let's see what percentage that is. It is 49% with 6 hours left of the audiobook to go. Pretty much the way that this book is, it's very much feeling like here's a family. The one daughter / sister dies. There's a lot of grief, a lot of guilt, and a lot of coping, like bad coping mechanisms going along with that. And there's also this undertone of there's a secret about the family that nobody will say. And I think that that's what we're getting to. I think that the point of this book is to have this family secret come out. And I feel like I already know what the secret is. And if it is what I think it is, I'm just like not into it. I'm like not into it. You know, I'm enjoying the story enough as I'm listening to it. And I think because I'm listening to it, I'm a little bit more forgiving and I'm going to keep continuing on. But I do have a feeling what this family secret, the core of this family secret's going to be. And yeah, the book kind of, I guess, somewhat relies on that coming to the surface a little bit for me to know how I feel about it. But I mean, in the meantime, the writing is fine. It doesn't like stand out super much. It's not bad. There's been some imagery that's interesting, and there's a little bit of like sister dynamic to work through. But again, the sister dynamic is also stemming from this like family secret. And I don't know how I'm feeling. It's feeling like a 3-star, where it's like, it's not bad. I'm not disliking this book, but it's also just like not doing that much for me either. Like I still care to figure out what's going on. So that says a lot. I'm invested enough where I want to still know how everything's going to play out, but I don't have high hopes for it. Okay. So there's my thoughts with this so far. So then that said, that's my audiobook. So I think I'm going to read another book physically. So I need to figure out what to read. And I'm kind of gravitating toward Leech by Hiran Ennis. I feel like it has a similar vibe and tone as Parasite. It's kind of like a sci-fi, this is like a sci-fi gothic horror, and it does deal with a parasite, I believe. It says, in an isolated chateau as far north as north goes, the Baron's doctor has died. The doctor's replacement has a mystery to solve, discovering how the Institute lost track of one of its many bodies. For hundreds of years, the what does this say? I can hear the word in my head, but I cannot say it out loud. Anyways, this medical institution has grown by taking root in young minds and shaping them into doctors, replacing every human practitioner of medicine. The institute is here to help humanity to cure and to cut, to cradle and protect the species from the apocalyptic horrors their ancestors unleashed. In the frozen north, the Institute's body will discover a competitor for its rung at the top of the evolutionary ladder. A parasite is spreading through the Baron's castle, already a dark pit of secrets, lies, violence, and fear. The two will make war at the battlefield of the body. Whichever wins, humanity will lose again. Okay, so I don't really like the way that synopsis was written, so hopefully the writing style is different in the book. But anyways, this has a kind of a similar thing going on where it's like parasite, medical shit going on, and yeah, spreading of stuff. So I think I'm gonna read this, which may or may not be a good thing, because like I'm definitely going to be probably very consciously comparing this to Parasite, but I I'm enjoying the medical science stuff right now. So I think I'm going to lean into that. Okay, I do also have Among the Living by Tim Levin, which is also very similar, where there's explorers or whatever, or like conservationists, environmental activists, and they end up unleashing a horrific contagion that has rested frozen and undisturbed for many millennia. And then it's like survival with like frozen tundra and this contagion, which may also be a parasite, who knows. So I have these two that have very similar kind of vibes to them, to each other as well as to Parasite. So I kind of want to maybe read one of these. Maybe I'll read the first page of each of these and see which one feels better. And then, yeah, I'll probably do that. And whichever one I vibe with more, I will be coming back with and reading updates. So you guys will know which one I end up reading more of. Honestly, probably just based on B-roll, but I'll come back with thoughts of one of those two books, most likely, hopefully I don't switch gears on you guys, but this is the mood reading vlog, so I'm trying to listen to my mood. Okay, and then that said, I have a couple of other things, not reading related per se, but one, I wanted to share these bookmarks that I ordered because Cassidy over at Covers with Cassidy, she hosts every year the Realmathon readathon, and she makes bookmarks to go along with that. The readathon happens in March. She has her announcement video available for you to watch now, so you can get signed up for it if you want. I don't think I'm going to actually participate in the readathon. I just cannot handle the pressure currently at this moment. I need to just kind of do my own thing, do my own reading, and focus on, you know, my own little bubble at the moment. I don't want to take on too much and immediately overwhelm myself, but nonetheless, I wanted to support her. So I bought some bookmarks. I decided to go with these two because I think that they are just freaking stunning. So these go along with like the team themes, two of the team themes, the stags and the monarchs. And I just love them. She does this like holographic effect that looks amazing, and they're stunning, beautiful, really great quality, super thick. So I got some bookmarks and they came in and I wanted to show them off. So there's those. And then I did also get a package that I want to open with you guys. They're nails. So not at all book related. At least the bookmarks were like semi-related. This is just some nails that I just wanted to show you guys. Oh, this is cute. I've ordered from them before. They didn't have this before. So they have a little holographic pouch. So this is an Etsy shop. It's called Sugar Coated Nail Shop. They didn't have these before, but it's a little pouch. So that's where she put all the like glue. They always give you these, what are these called? Like files, like buffers. And I never use the ones that they send, but alcohol wipes, the glue and all of that. What's this? This is a magnet. It's a cute little magnet. It's just a little smiley face. I think it's a magnet. But yeah, all the supplies that you need for the nails. And then I got 2 sets. I don't remember ordering these ones though. I mean, I'm sure I did. Let me look at my order. I mean, I must have, but these just don't feel like ones I would order. I mean, I'll wear them. Oh, okay. I did order these, but I guess I thought that they would be more clear on the website. They kind of look like that, and they're a little bit translucent, like semi-translucent. And they look white in here, but it could just be because the postage card that they're on. Nope, they're just white. So they look a little different than I expected, but I think that the nails I'm wearing now are actually also from them. I'm like 95% sure. But yeah, here's the nails, and yeah, they are not as translucent as I thought that they would be, but that's okay. They're cute. They're kind of like old, like china, like porcelain style. Anyways, there's those ones, and then these are kind of similar to what I have on now, but different. They're a different vibe. So these are like the black, dark, midnight version of what I'm wearing now. So it still has like heart decal, but it's mostly just black. Just a nice simple set. So I've been super into like this cut and style and this nail tech is really good. I like their stuff. So there's those. Anyways. Oh, also, one more thing, and then we'll be done. And then I'm going to start reading another book, I swear. I want to, real quick, DNF some books. Super quick. So when I was going through my shelves to pick out my next read, I realized this person I do not want on my shelves anymore because of the absolute horrendous, disgusting actions of this author. And that is all my Neil Gaiman books. I'm DNFing. So this does include 2 books that were technically on my physical TBR. I had never read Neverwhere, nor have I read Norse mythology, but now I never will. I did read these books, but I'm getting rid of all of them because I don't want this author on my shelf. That's it. Not saying anything else about that, but those are being unhauled. So I kind of just wanted to say that because since 2 of them were technically on my physical TBR, I'm unhauling 2 books from my physical TBR. In addition, I am unhauling The Queen, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Through the Midnight Door. But anyways, that was a lot. I'm out of breath from talking. So I'm going to start reading, and I will update you guys when I can. Bad news bears. So I started reading Leech. I read up to chapter 3, and you know what? I'm not really feeling it. It's a little confusing, and I don't think I have the brain power for it right now. It's weird because it feels historical. Like the dialect and the atmosphere and the gothicness of the story makes it feel historical. But there's also this weird essence of futuristic, cosmic feel to it. And our main character, who I don't know if we know his name yet, or I just didn't pick it up, he doesn't seem to be human, and he seems to be one of many, if that makes sense. And if it doesn't, it's because I'm confused. And I don't think I'm feeling it. The vibe of the story is just like not gripping me at the moment. So I'm not going to carry on with this book for now. It's not like a hard DNF unhaul situation. I'm just like not up for it currently. And then honestly, I read like 2 pages of this and I'm like, you know what? I'm over both of these right now. So I'm completely over the mood of science and contagion and sci-fi-esque horror. And I feel like now I kind of want to read a fantasy or something. I don't know. Now all of a sudden I want to switch gears completely. But I was thinking about it, and I think that I'm not going to read another physical book for this vlog. I am going to still finish and continue reading Through the Midnight Door, and I'll give you guys my final thoughts on that. But I think that's going to be the last book for this vlog, because I've been doing some planning and filming, and I'm going to make this whole reading down my physical TBR, reading down my bookshelves, an ongoing series. And I kind of created a list of themes for each episode, because it's going to be like an ongoing series, and I'm going to do it where each episode's kind of like a little different, just because it makes it more exciting for me and more fun that way and more interesting, and it just like makes me look at my book collection differently each time, you know what I mean? So I think that I'm going to start a book for episode 1 of that. Okay, so I'm not done with this vlog completely, but I am not going to continue with a physical book for this one. So I hope that's okay, because this was, in essence, a mood reading vlog to get me out of a reading slump. And I do think I'm out of a reading slump, but now I'm in the mood to kind of get started on this new series because I'm really, really excited for it. And I've already picked out like the first theme for episode 1, and I kind of want to start reading one of the books that I have picked out for that. Like that's what I'm in the mood for now. So I think I'm going to shift gears physically reading wise and focus on that. Speaking of the series, I don't have like a fun name for it. These like series are super, super popular, I feel like right now on Booktube, and I love it. I love the idea of it. I've been watching a few people do it for a while now. Once Upon a Bookish Steph, she's been doing, her version is called Tackle My TBR, where she gets coordinates from everybody in like comment sections for her to pick books through her shelves that way, like coordinate style, which I want to do an episode dedicated kind of like that I want to do eventually. But I have to kind of figure out the logistics of it because my shelves are like kind of all like strewn around my house and stuff. So I'd have to figure out logistics for that. But I've been watching her doing her Tackle TBR for a while, and I love hers. She reads so fast though. She reads like, I feel like she reads like 20 to 30 books a month. So she like is really good. But anyways, I've been watching her series for a while. Beth Morvant, she does, what does she call hers again? Bookshelf Ultimatum. So she just does like TBR jar, like all her books are in a jar, and she either has to like read it or unhaul it. And a lot of people have like read it or unhaul it situations. Yeah, I've been seeing these pop up all over the place and I love it. And it just like really invigorated me. And I feel like I have my reading spark back, and now I'm just like super motivated to get that series started. So if you guys have any theme ideas, let me know. I already have a list of so many episode themes. Like I have a list of themes, like more than I'll ever be able to get to, honestly. But I already have a very big list of episode themes, but if you guys want to give me some more themes that I can go off of, some episodes, I'm going to kind of base it on genres. I want to integrate a spinner wheel at some point. Maybe I can even do like a prompt jar episode where like you guys give me prompts and I do it, or again I might do like a coordinate based episode. Who knows? I have a list of so many themes, but if you guys have any ideas, I will add it to the list. I think I'm just gonna call mine reading down my bookshelves or something like that. Keep it simple. But I love seeing everybody's little twists and stuff on the series. I think Mel just started one too, and hers is like one shelf at a time. So she's like approaching it, going literally one shelf at a time. So that's fun. That's a different way that I haven't seen done yet. That doesn't mean somebody else hadn't done it. I just hadn't seen it. But yeah, I love seeing everybody's different versions of it. But yeah, I've been watching those videos like crazy. So I've been getting even recommended new booktubers that I hadn't seen previously that also have iterations of the series on their channels. So I've been just devouring that content, specifically like those specific types of videos on Booktube. That's what I've been watching a lot of lately, and I love it. So I cannot wait to dive into my version of it because it's so fun. And it's just like so accomplishing feeling, like I'm checking off goals, I'm reading my physical TBR, I'm going to be able to get my shelves to a place that I love all the books on my shelves, and I'm going to be making a dent in my physical TBR. I'm so excited. So, yeah, that said, I will be back with final thoughts for Through the Midnight Door. And I think that's it right now. I was just kind of rambling about Booktube in general there. So yeah, talk to you guys probably tomorrow. I should probably be able to finish that either tomorrow or the next day. So I should be done with that book relatively soon. I am so pale. It's actually crazy. That is my winter skin. And then also, if you didn't know, because I didn't know before this, but if you're pregnant, there's like virtually no skincare you can use. You can't use hyaluronic acid, anything that's like good for your skin and for acne and stuff cannot be used. So I'm like also breaking out, so I'm doing great. Anyways, finished Through the Midnight Door by Katrina Monroe. I'm really glad to be done with this. So yeah. So what I thought was going to be a reveal kind of was, but it ended up like not really being that big of a deal. Like it kind of is, but like not really. Like I thought that the book would lean way more on this like climactic reveal, but no. But I was right about what the one issue was, but like the book goes like past that, and it reveals that, moves past it, and then just continues on with kind of like, I'm gonna say like two mysterious timelines going on at the same time. But yeah, overall, I have to say this is very mediocre. This was a very mediocre book. I just found myself to not really care that much about the characters. I didn't find the plot to be very interesting. I didn't find the ultimate conclusion to be interesting or innovative or anything very, very exciting, honestly. The main theme of the book is pretty much that everybody has some darkness in them, and it might manifest in certain ways, and there's some metaphors for like guilt and grief and depression, I guess. I don't know. It was kind of a very cliche metaphor and message and theme, while also not really doing much with it. So it was very just blah, just very whatever. So I would say if you have this book, give it a go. Like if you already own it, you might as well try it. If you don't own it, don't buy it. In my humble opinion, I don't think it's really worth it. It was very, very mediocre. I'm gonna give it like a 2.5 stars. Like I don't think it was bad, but it just like didn't do much either. So I think I'm gonna give it 2.5 stars. I'll give it 3 stars on Goodreads. But yeah, and like, yeah. That's all I gotta say on that. I do have the version, because I got this through Nightworms, so I do have like a signed book plate to go with the book, which is kind of cool if somebody like is very interested in this book or read it and really liked it. That's pretty cool. But I am going to DNF this, or not DNF it. I've already finished it. I'm going to unhaul it. I'm getting rid of it so it's off my shelves, so we can, you know, make room for better books. So that's that one. So unhauling 2, keeping 1, and also looking forward to the sequel. So that's exciting. If you made it to this point in the video, leave a pill emoji in the comments down below, because this has a bunch of pills on it, and this was my favorite book of the vlog. So otherwise, I did already start reading for the next vlog, for episode 1 of me reading down my TBR shelves, of me reading down my bookshelves, whatever I decide to call it. If you guys have any ideas, let me know. But I did start the vlog for that. I'm so excited, and I feel really good. I feel like I got my spark back, despite, you know, less than stellar books, especially like the last one I just finished. But I feel like I have my spark back. I feel like I'm really excited to jump back into doing some videos when I can, and reading when I can, and doing all the things. So thank you for coming on this journey with me of me trying to get out of my reading slump. So I feel like the tone of this vlog, the tone of the end of this vlog is so different than the beginning of this vlog, and I feel a lot better. And thank you guys for being here and being a little bit of my outlet. So yeah, I worked through some stuff and I'm ready to, you know, hit the ground running and get into all of my super exciting plans. That is going to be everything for today's video. If you haven't yet, please give the video a like, subscribe for future content, turn on the bell notification, all the fun YouTube things that help your girl out, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye!